Good evening. We're happy to be back here today. It's Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. So it's 11/22/22, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US, and that of those countries in the Greenwich time zone, midnight. I'm Volcano Shelton. We have a fiery conversation here tonight. We'd like to invite all of you, our viewers and listeners, wherever you are. Our trending news itself it can be a topic of discussion. We'll be covering the just the highlights on the World Cup, and just want to just reiterate our conversations here tonight will center around the fact that some Liberians, whether they're from the CDC, whether they're ordinary Liberians, whoever those Liberians are threatening to protest against the American ambassador, Mr. Michael McCarthy, um, because they said that he's instigating in the affairs of the country. And in fact, they think that he is the mastermind between the sanction, or rather for the sanction on the three government officials, Nathaniel McGill, Bill Twelway, and that of Serena Cephas. So some Liberians are threatening to protest against the American ambassador. We'll be talking about that, and we'll invite you to join us here on this conversation tonight. We'll also be looking at the national census. Where is it at now? Is it continue to be a fiasco and people are giving misinterpretation of what is happening? Because I'm talking to people on the grounds and no one has said actually that anyone has been there to even ask them, what's your name? How many people in your house? So I don't know where, in fact, we saw the vice president went to the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism, and said that everything is on course. So there's just too many different people are saying different things, and also the misinterpretation of some Liberians about the two photos of the current standard bearer of the Alternative National Congress, the ANC, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. It is said that he's was being towed in a hammock by some Liberians, and also a woman is unlacing his shoe. So they're thinking that it's modern day slavery. I don't know where that is coming from, and it's all inhumane. So it's good conversation. These are the three things we'll be talking about, but we have trending news and sports. Let me go over to Moses Santi, who just took a sip of his water to clear his throat. I'm sure he's ready. Moses, I am elated tonight. I think that we're going to have a good show. In fact, one of my good family man, my cousin, my boy from Pinsville, he just joined the conversation tonight.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Ikondaya Dixon. He's now finally attained his PhD. We both were working on the same, in the same direction with a doctorate. I'm just raised to a candidate, having completed my dissertation, still working behind the scene. It's a work in progress, but I've been raised to candidacy, and he finally got his PhD done. Uh, Doctor, we want to thank you so much for the job well done. It's PhD, so that means there's a lot of work you put into it.
God
For
bless.
you, we say welcome. Please share the link. Invite so many folks here tonight. Um, and Doc, I thought it was you're more of a historian. So was the PhD in was it information technology or something? Can you just tell us, because I need some help here with with our technologists. So if that's what it is, then I would like to call you Dr. Dixon in the coming days. Moses, welcome to our 106, we can call it 106 edition of the Issues Room. Great evening, and I'm happy to be here with you again.
Great evening. And I'm also happy to be here, but I come with mixed feeling. Happy and also sad.
I mean, don't start here again, man.
But I don't even want to break the news until you can kick off the whole process. I'm very sad a little bit. But
All right, quickly, I want to. Okay, I was right. He said yes. Information technology. Congratulations, bro. I'll call you, family. I'll call you. So let's talk a little bit behind the scene. Rima S. Clark, welcome to the issues room. The numbers are going up. We want you to chime in. Tonight conversation is about you, your country, your destiny. Don't sit there. These things that's going on in Liberia impacts your well-being. A lot of you here on this conversation, especially you, Doc, have been carrying on project in Liberia. Raymond Clark, who just came from Liberia at the beginning of this year, tasted the law for country, but I'm sure that you were not satisfied with what you've seen in the country. There's a lot of possibilities in Liberia, but when you have the lack of rule of law, when you have poor governance, when you have, everything just in chaos, I can tell you honestly, how much can you invest in a country? The other day I wrote something where there's a lack of rule of law, there's corruption, there's criminalities, span from armed robbery, just so many things. How can you live peacefully, Moses, in such a setting?
It makes it very difficult. And that's one of the things that made me to say I come with double. I mean, I came with a mixed feeling.
But then let's
How
just say the
how how
capital
how
is
how do you live in a country when you have a complete breakdown in the rule of law? How can you
bad.
live in such an environment happily? How do you live in a country where your political leader feel that they are doing you a favor? They don't see you as their employer.
Mhm.
It's sad. But let me pause and give it to you, and later we
Mustafa
can get
Sony,
into the
welcome,
podcast.
welcome. It's good to have you in the house. We expect a lot of folks here tonight. Again, we'll open the lines early along these topics because we want you to come in and let's have this conversation. Moses, what do you have there for trending news? I'll be covering a little bit of sports here with the World Cup. Um, what do you have?
Well, the top story is that I think there is nothing new. Everybody knows that since November 1st, our president, George Manuel Weah, uh, has been abroad. And today, I got information that, it was initially reported that the president would have returned to the country by tomorrow, the 23rd. Now, the latest information is that there has been an adjustment in that schedule. And the adjustment is based on what the president and or executives call change in schedule. I don't know what those changes are, but he's going to be away until December 22nd.
When I
So
saw
if
hold on, man, the man son scored one goal now, then he changed the whole,
they mentioned the whole schedule, man.
the man changed the whole schedule for that one goal.
Yeah,
But then when the man score more goals, then I think he'll come back to Liberia.
I know.
All right, go
So
ahead, bro.
and what Mr. Weir has done, he stands out as the only world leader globally to have stayed away from his country for 2 months. Isn't that insane, Volcano?
And not on medical leave, oh.
No.
Just pleasure.
Yeah,
What it is.
the man's on a
What is
joyride.
President we are really doing out there? Okay, granted, you saw your son now, he scored one leg goal. So because you want he apparently the guy wants to watch the whole World Cup because the World Cup ends December
Uh
18th.
yeah. So he's not gonna go back until the 23rd.
So if
I mean, or the
or
22nd of
or
December. Yeah.
until America gets eliminated,
And,
and
and
maybe he might decide that he will finally have to leave. But this
yeah.
is this is unfortunate, Moses. So he sent this letter
To the
uh
legislature
to the
to inform
legislature
them. Yeah.
asking them to grant him more time off
More
the
time.
job.
Yeah. More
But he
time.
didn't have the guts to tell the Liberian people. He didn't call a press conference or address the nation while in a foreign country.
Not even the Minister of Information, who speaks for the government, has come out to explain why this change in schedule is necessary. No, but a
And so
communication was sent to the legislature.
and so when all of this is happening, and yet you have Liberians still thinking that they want to give 6 years to this president. What wrong, Moses? What wrong with these people? What are they saying?
That's
I keep saying,
insanity,
and
Volcano.
I just developed my own little political, term. I said they got political Apollo.
Yeah,
Apollo, when Apollo
uh,
hit the eye boy back in the day, you can't see nothing.
I
People can
think
see around it,
you
Moses.
Hello, Volcano. I think you're being euphemistic, and I would just like to call it a spade. That's insanity. It's
Political
insanity,
insensitive.
political insanity. You gave George Weah another 6 years. Do you know where Liberia will be? The man is insensitive.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
man doesn't care. The man feels that he's doing the people of Liberia a favor.
A favor. After he's already gotten rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
So
do
so
how do you leave your country for 2 months in the midst of crisis? The national census is in crisis. Your civil servants have not been paid for 3 months. Your educational institutions are in crisis, including the University of Liberia.
hmm.
Healthcare, healthcare is in crisis. Foreign service, officials in foreign service have not been paid for months. A good number of them are being evicted
Hmm.
from their apartments. And you have a president flying here and there. Isn't that insane?
And you saw Colasco yelling how his small brother school, my brother school, my brother school. I said, man, I George, we have steps, son.
So when he become the son of George Weah,
I mean, listen, all of us are proud of Tim Weah and his accomplishment and what he did yesterday in the World Cup. But that doesn't make any better for Liberia.
no.
Everything that is happening for Tim Weah is happening for Tim Weah in America.
Mhm.
They barely say he's a Liberian. They
Oh
barely
yeah,
say it. The news writers don't even refer to him as a Liberian.
no, they refer
So,
to
so
him
when people
as
when yeah, so
American,
when
Black American, African
yeah,
American. Yeah,
yeah, when people start to think that Tim Weah is a Liberian, yeah, he's a Liberian by your mind, by his history, but by his birth certificate, by his nationality, is all American. And that is why he made that choice to play for America. So let us not take this and wrap ourselves around it and run with it pride, because his accolades, what he's doing, doesn't benefit Liberia anyway. What would have benefited Liberia was if we had taken our country to the World Cup,
yeah.
which he had all of the chances to.
The opportunities
Everything was laid out on the silver platter, and they squandered that opportunity. But
definitely
I
they
just
did.
wanted to throw this out here, so let people not try to correlate Team Weah achievement
Accomplishment,
with
yeah,
Liberia. It's just going to go down in history as the president of Liberia's son, who is an American citizen, played in the World Cup and scored a goal. Maybe he yet to score more goals, but again, as I said, let us call a spade a spade. The
definitely.
Liberian people are struggling, they are suffering. There's extreme hardship and poverty in the country. You and myself, our lines are
24/7,
busted all
basically,
day.
man. 24/7,
Can't
yeah.
even sleep. People now don't even understand the time zone. I have been receiving calls at 3 o'clock in the morning. That best part of my sleep, that
Eh, eh,
best part of my sleep is being trampled upon by so many unnecessary calls. And what are those calls? Please send me something.
yeah,
Please send
yeah,
me $10. Can you imagine someone is asking you for $10,
yeah.
Moses?
It's sad for
ten
Volcano.
dollars.
Sometimes and
Dollars can
Volcano
barely get a burger here now in America. All
and
because of this president.
like you said, Volcano, sometimes people will wake me or I have to literally tell them I am in bed. Please give me some time. I will call you.
Hmm.
I'm telling you. I'm sure you experience similar thing.
Let's go to the second news.
Yeah, the second big story is that Spoon Network, owned by Mr. Waterspoon. A story broke today that Spoon has formed a merger with Truth FM, and when that is finalized, it is reported that the deal will be sealed soon in Nimba County. So when that happens, Spoon network, which brings together Fabri and other community radio stations, uh, Spoon and Truth FM, which is owned by Mr. Musa Ability, will be the biggest network in Liberia. I did listen to Mr. Spoon prior to coming to this show, and he said his plan is to cover the entire Liberia. So as he was speaking, I was having a second thought. But Mr. Waterspoon, do you know the man you enter into this deal with? Credibility matters a lot.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
There's public record that shows that Musa Belete has a stained character. He's not credible. He's very dishonest. So I hope Mr. Waterspoon is also, or Mr. Spoon is taking that into consideration because right now, as I speak to you, Mr. Belete is not allowed to go to any game for the next 10 years organized and hosted by FIFA because of fraud. The raw, how you call it?
Road
Uh,
phone.
the raw fund, over $4 million. The WIA administration has failed to prosecute Mr. Belete for that. And there are several other cases. You see what is happening in Labor Party. Musa Belete has character problem. So entering into a deal with such a man, it requires second thought. That would be my advice to Mr. Spoon. Yes, we appreciate the expansion. It's good for Liberia. We all want to see Liberia covered. But who are you doing the business with? Matters a lot. And the next question I would like to ask Mr. Spoon is has he read it, taking into consideration the media market of Liberia? The expansion is good, but when you invest money, you also want to generate money. It's not only investing. I don't think Liberia has that media market for the kind of expansion that Mr. Spoon is making. That would be my advice to him.
And I
You
was talking to
you
a
want to say
professional
that's a
colleague of mine today,
yeah, yeah,
this morning on my way to
yeah,
work,
mhm,
and it's good that Spoon is endeavoring into the media,
yeah.
but he doesn't have the background, and so
Mm-mm.
he doesn't understand the intricacies involved with what a pure communication is supposed to sound, feel, and look like.
Absolutely.
The unfortunate thing, he has the Spoon Talk, which
Hmm.
is, I believe, it is the foundation for his entire network.
Hmm.
I think all of the purchases and mergers are just for the purpose of expansion, so that
Yeah,
this
he can be
spoon
heard.
can be
Yeah.
expanded.
Hmm.
But this spoon needs refinery. Honestly, from a journalistic purview, and I'm not seeing it in any denigrating fashion.
I mean,
Seeing it,
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm seeing it in a way that I'm giving him the opportunity to think a Ted Turner. Ted Turner had monies. What did he do? He created CNN, TNT networks, and he put it in the right people's hand to run those entities. And he went and bought more than 400,000 acres of land in Montana. All right, because I was supposed to, I
Yeah.
Montana, in Great Falls, Montana, and I got that information because
Yeah.
it was where I wanted to attend grad school.
Okay.
The beginning of my quest for graduate school, and I ended up in Wichita, Kansas, at Wichita State University.
Hmm.
But Ted Turner has land in Montana that he only goes there to ride his horse because he wanted to ride on his own private property.
Wow.
So, and he owns a lot of fast food. Is restaurant actually.
Yeah.
It's
Businesses.
Texas Roadhouse. I just, the name just slipped my mind, but he has a series of those restaurants.
Okay.
But the point I'm making here, he understood his limitation when it comes to media practices, and so he what stepped aside. And today, you look at CNN.
Yeah.
So for Spoon to refine, with a Spoon to refine Spoon Talk, he needs the right panel of
Yeah.
professional journalists, rather than have people like Kev Hassan sitting down there talking about he giving analysis where he's struggling to make his
Yeah.
point, you know.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to say this in any fashion, but we're giving you professional advice, because the more you expand, the propensity for you to continue to do what is wrong in the eyes of many professionals, because now you're going to cross border.
Of
You,
course, yeah.
you you're going to be in Sierra Leone. You're going
You're
to
gonna
be
be in Guinea
in Coast. You're going to be in Guinea. You're going to be,
and
as far
other
as
neighboring countries.
Nigeria,
Yeah, yeah,
So I think he needs to start thinking the professional side of his entity, rather than putting his monies into something, but it's not expanding in a professional,
yeah, yeah,
and at the end of the day, it's just going to be another spoon talk, the same thing every day. But again, it's just our professional opinion, and we're not trying to in any way tell you how to run your entity, but we're
yeah.
telling you some things that is not making sense. People coming on the show anytime they feel like it. You're having 10 people, it takes almost 45 minutes before a person can speak. So they're just there for the image because everybody's looking at them. It doesn't make sense.
It
From
doesn't
my
add up.
perspective, the
It doesn't
education I
add
have
up.
in communications, journalism, broadcasting, and all of that, it doesn't make sense for me to have a panelist or a guest sitting in studio
For almost 2 hours waiting.
running the show and calling yourself CEO and everybody there's CEO. What my time now? Okay, my 2 minutes or my one question, my two questions. It's like you're portioning, the communication piece to people, and it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's another, volcano country. I would just like to say that I'm not interested in knowing who is the CEO of Spoon Network. I just want to know who the panelist is. So if Waterspoon is your name, you say Waterspoon or Mr. Spoon. Don't call me CEO, CEO. I mean, that's autocracy.
Yeah,
We are
and
not interested in
I
that.
call you honorable.
Yeah, yeah.
Honorable to be what?
Where's Kefansan to be referred to as honorable? When
Honor-
did he get that honorific?
My man,
You know?
let's leave that talk.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So thanks for that
Mhm.
update.
Yeah,
So
sure.
again, folks, we're seeing that Spoon is expanding. They're going to buy Truth FM. The merger is Musa ability, and maybe the man I forget what happened in Liberia. You learn a lesson. You learn a lesson, oh man. So so
That
so
ball play Canopy way.
the World Cup started on Sunday, and I just wanted to give a quick update here.
Sure, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead
The
on
host,
that.
the host nation is Qatar, and the games are being played in the Doha and is suburban area.
Yeah,
And the opener was with the host nation Qatar against Ecuador, and Ecuador won that first game, which was the opener on Sunday, 2-0. So Qatar is down. Hopefully they can bounce back, because usually the audience uh, in the stadium is dependent upon the host nation being a part of the competition. So it is our hope that Qatar will not be eliminated so early, which would then kind of like kill
the momentum.
the momentum, and then the audience. So apparently the king will have to sell the game free, for everybody to be able to come and fill the stadium. But Ecuador scored 3 goals. One of the goals very tightly,
Wow.
was canceled, and the guy Valencia from Ecuador, he scored the 3 goals, but one of those goals were canceled. And accordingly, he would have been the first in the World Cup to score a hat trick in a game if the
Wow.
goal was not canceled. Then yesterday we had England taking on Iran, and the score was 6-2. Senegal lost to the Netherlands 2-0. They all play the Netherlands, but again, our African teams, I don't know what's going on with them. And I think when we had Hassan here this past weekend, I talked about these
Yeah.
guys play with these other guys in the different leagues,
Yeah, yeah.
Europe, the La Lega, the Premier League, the Italian League, and all of that. But when they bring their team together to represent the continent of Africa and their countries, respective countries, they're always like fall short.
Yeah, they honor perform.
So I don't know. Then, of course, the famous one goal scored by Tim Weah, the son of
Yeah.
Liberia's president Mane Weah, against the Wales, the team.
Wales. Mm-hmm.
Wales. Uh, but then they came back and equalized on a penalty.
Yeah.
So his goal will kind of nullify in a sense if you look at it. Had
Yeah.
he go stand, then America would be up. So that game was a draw. And then today, surprisingly, Argentina had 3 goals scored, but 2 of those goals were canceled and one stood. And then Saudi Arabia came from the back and delivered 2 goals and stunned Argentina.
Yeah.
Argentina had gotten her first loss by a very mediocre team in Saudi Arabia. And so now the game ended in a 2-1. Then Tunisia played Denmark to a 0-0. Mexico and Poland played to a 0-0. But France came and took on Australia and won that game 4-1. Australia scoring first, and then France came later and scored 4 goals. So tomorrow the game starting at 5 o'clock in the morning. Morocco against Croatia. Germany and Japan is a game to watch at 8 o'clock. Spain and Costa Rica will be at 11 a.m. and Belgium and Canada will be playing at 2 p.m. So that's your highlight for the World Cup. And again, we'd like to welcome all of you. Dukori, if that's the name right. Adiaha Idanjiset Umo, we say thank you for joining us again from Australia. As Edward Nifor, Flomo Livingstone, Lamine Tai. It's good to have all you guys. Raymond Clark, Thomas Awaji. I know you've been spreading the word. Fergie Monu and Dr. Ikudayo Dixon. We say thank you for joining us here tonight. Numbers claiming, and we'd like you to continue to share the link and encourage those folks to come in. Moses, we
Yeah.
talked about the ambassador of the United States of America,
Mm-hmm.
who a few weeks ago, and I could say a little more than a month or two,
Yes.
handed down the American verdict from the Treasury Department throwing sanction
That
against
was in August. Hmm.
three of time flies. I see why Nathaniel McGill looking disheveled.
The man looked disheveled, man.
I see
Yeah.
why. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was in August, man. Time
Yeah.
flies.
August 15th.
And you know what it means to be removed from the nearest office?
But the man was the conduit.
Yeah,
The
uh,
man literally ran Liberia.
yeah.
So you know what it means,
Put a neck job
Volcano?
for him.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, so the ambassador uh, made clear what the Treasury Department said regarding these 3 officials, and that they were putting sanctions on them, and the pressure the Liberian government through his presidency, Mr. Weah, to ask them to resign, and they were uh, uh,
Coerced.
yeah, coerced, and they had to under all circumstance, because I think the foundation for the conversation was was anyone who does business with
Yeah.
these 3 people themselves risks being sanctioned. So as a result, they had no option but to resign. And since then, these 3 guys, two are very non-verbal. They've turned non-verbal, but McGill is still finding his way back into government, into the public limelight, and that's through the Senate, as he's
Yeah,
continued to
he wants to go as
aspire
senator
to go
for
as
my
senator.
Gibby. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
as a result of this, and I believe a lot of people who felt that Nathaniel McGill was a crowd puller, a crowd favorite, many of them, whether seditious or ordinary Liberians, have said that they think the American ambassador is meddling in Liberia's business. They think the American ambassador is a mastermind of the situation, and so they are threatening to protest. And
Hmm.
I don't know how far the protest will go. Is the protest going to pressure Biden to recall the ambassador? But what they fail to understand, Moses, before you come in, is
Hmm.
that it was the ambassador was just, put it that way, a letter boy.
Yeah,
I bring
he
the
just
letter.
a conduit.
Yeah. I bring the
Hmm.
letter and I deliver it. You read it, and you say, "No, I can't read." Joe, we are say, "I say I can't read." So let go ahead and read the letter. And so the ambassador decides that he will read the letter, and then he reads the letter and said, "This is what it is." And honestly, how can we blame the ambassador? He did not concoct anything. He did not uh, put his sanction together. I don't know why Moses is out of studio. I believe he will be back shortly. And so, as a result of this, some Liberians, when you watch Facebook, people who are on what you call social media and at these so-called intellectual centers that are all over the country now, are threatening. Some of them who are diehard sedition are threatening that they're going to protest. So my people here tonight, do these people really understand the proximity of America and Liberia and the relationship? Moses is back. Do they really understand the relationship with America? I don't know what's going on with him on his end. He'll be back. Do they understand the relationship with Liberia and America, the proximity of the two nations, and how did Liberia come into being as a result of America's influence? And that has been historical over time. And so unfortunately, protesting for your own good, it does it take the Americans to do what we fail to do? Are we for real as a people? Are we going to blame America for the internals? Yes, we can say in part. But at the end of the day, you're the ones who go to stand the poll. The last time I checked, it was not an American who went to the poll to vote. I have not seen any American voting in Liberian elections. It is you Liberians. So whatever the background influence of Americans, um, that has nothing to do with the actual voters. So when you put certain people in power, and let's move away from George Weah. He's the president, but how about all the other people you voted into power? How about those people? Some of them are warlords. Some of them are criminals. Some of them don't mean good for you. They lie to you. And they leave their constituency and move to Monrovia. And you don't see them until the entire tenure. It's a shame. And then you want to say the American ambassador is your problem? You gotta be naive to think that. This man is only telling you what these three people were doing to your monies. You can see it. For Nathaniel McGill to say he's going to take road to Cape, rather Margibi, because he wants to go in the Senate. Where was Nathaniel McGill 5 years ago? Could he have a full chapia? Could he pay somebody one picking to chapia the road to a house? You know that Liberian people know what I mean when I say chapia. How do you spell that chapia thing? Moses, how do you spell chapia?
Man, I want to you knock
No,
me
no, no,
out of here,
how do you spell
Volcano, man.
chapia?
That one never man knock me out of here.
Yeah, so I'm just
I
saying,
want to
before you
spell a
come here,
thing,
you be having
man.
a little crisis. Let me
Yeah, I don't know what
just finish
the
my thought quick. Yeah,
technology crisis
yeah, let me finish my thought quick.
this evening. Yeah,
So,
but go ahead, my man.
he could pay somebody to chapia the road to his one-bedroom apartment where he could hardly pay the rent. Now he want to build road, and you got Liberians saying, "Oh yeah, that talk and do." How can a
Yeah.
man talk and do with your own money he just stole the other day? Then you say you're talking about the ambassador, you're going to protest against him. Moses, let me rest my case. And I thought enough.
You
Come in, my
you want
brother.
to give me
Oh, Thomas,
yeah.
why you say Chapia? Chapia. I mean, I spelling correct. I'm going to do research, man. Chapia.
My man, that one Liberian English, my man Thomas, I agree with you. That chapia, my man.
Look, what again?
But look,
Brown Martin say Chapia. No, they say
yeah, I think Brown too is doing well, oh.
Chapia.
Yeah, you know Brownie. Brown. It's a
Uh,
chapia, yeah.
okay,
But on a more serious note for Canada, the news emanating from Liberia is not good. Recently on a local radio station owned by a representative in the Loganton area there, called Bana FM. Some supporters are allegedly linked to the CDC. A good number of them called into a talk show that was meant to really, put down the effort of the United States government in fighting graft in Liberia. A good number of callers call in and to complain about what the ambassador is doing. They see him as an enemy of the Weah administration. They had threatened that they would take to the streets of Monrovia to call for his removal from the country because he's one of those who is allegedly conveying negative messages about the we administration to the United States. He's an enemy of the administration. Those people believe that the sanction imposed on the former Minister of State Nathaniel McGill, Serena Seaforth, the former Solicitor General, and the former Managing Director of the Port, Bill Torway, those sanctions were politically driven. And Volcano, when I heard that, when I read about that, I asked myself this question: are these people nationalists? And Volcano, you have a foreign country with years of political support to the well-being of Liberia. The relationship between America and Liberia is inseparable. Anyone who knows the history of Liberia knows that the United States has always been there and continues to be there. A greater portion of funding for our national budget comes from the United States. The people invest their money in Liberia. And you got a group of people that
Let
are
me
allegedly,
just
yes,
add this.
yeah,
So
go ahead.
so they invest the money, but they also influence every gift you get.
Of course, yes,
World Body, the World
but
Bank, United Nations. If America said, "Listen, don't send no money over there," it's over.
oh, but
It's
man,
over.
America
If
is the
America
word.
said, "Listen, we cancel send wave, no more send wave." Somebody told me, I was talking to a Liberian. They
Yeah,
told me, if America gets bad and say no more send wave, we finish, we die.
I tell you,
Tired people will eat. People, there's no palm cabbage now, so they'll be looking for coconut cabbage.
yeah, yeah,
Coconut
you,
cabbage. Because
you're
they already know
absolutely
the
right.
palm cabbage.
Yeah,
Go ahead, bro.
yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right, Volcano. And then to see people again, sometimes you got to look at our people in a larger context. That must be financially driven, by supporters of Mr. McGill and the
Was it?
others. Yeah,
Let me just open the line quick because I
sure.
said we'll open the line per topics tonight.
Yeah, yeah,
So
sure.
the
You
line's
can do that.
open. While Moses is talking, let me just remind you quickly the number to call is 404-272-2808. 404-272-2808. That's the number right there for you to call. Please join this conversation. Is it necessary for Liberians now to show muscles and say they want to protest against the ambassador who just doing his job? Or the president who gone and say he extending his visit or
Yeah,
his abroad stay up to
yeah,
December 22nd, and maybe he might just say I'll just stay until after the new year and then I'll be back.
uh,
So you can go protest against that situation you're protesting. So we want you to come call and let's have this conversation. Continue,
yeah,
Moses.
yeah. So as I was saying that, to hear that, you have people even thinking about doing something like that. How do you protest against a country that is investing its taxpayers' money into your educational sector, healthcare, the national census that is going on?
And
The
look
U.S.
at
is
this, Moses.
contributing to that significantly.
Look at what Colleague Pato is saying here. How is the
Yeah,
ambassador the enemy of the state when the allegations levied against these officials were not denied by the government?
absolutely. I agree.
There had to be preponderance of evidence.
I agree with Mr. Pato because
You
Mr.
understand me?
Pato
Let's
is
show that.
arguing
Yeah.
if you are a leader and someone accuses one of your staff of a problem, you don't take punitive action if you feel that the allegation levied against your staff lacks the evidence. But if you take punitive action against that staff, it means that you did your background work and you came to the point that, hey, I think what this person said or what this person is saying does make a lot of sense. So to hear Liberians coming together, to even hear that a group of Liberians are planning to come and publicly tell the world that they are opposed to what the United States is doing for Liberia, I think it's unnationalistic. It's unfortunate for Ghana. I just don't know what to say,
Well,
but
but
this is very unfortunate.
look at the man that's saying this thing. And when you look on Facebook, the man eyeball yellow. Yellow with yellow. I don't know that yellow jaundice. The vein on his forehead because he eat all day, scorching sun, and you worry about somebody who eating a lobster. Yeah, Eugene Nagbe on Facebook showing his platter. Do you know how much eating? Do you know how much eating those guys are doing in? My man, your mic is muted. Do you know how much eating those guys are doing in what they call the place Qatar?
Qatar? Yeah, Qatar. Yeah.
The boss eating Arabian food, food from the Mediterranean. Let me take this caller quick. The caller from Massachusetts 3238. Good evening. Welcome to the issues room.
Yeah, my name is Alfred Dixon, and I'm calling from Springfield, Massachusetts.
It's a pleasure
Uh,
having you. Welcome to the show. We're discussing. I think you're following the topic. The first of the topics tonight has to do with Liberians. Some Liberians, not all, but some Liberians are threatening to protest against the American ambassador Michael McCarthy for his continued push to uphold the sanction and reminding Liberians, because he was just recently reminding
Yeah.
people that, hey, I want you to remember we said anyone who does business with these three people themselves risks being a part of being sanctioned. What do you think? And do you agree with the protest, or what's your position?
well, before I give my position, I want to say that you had said something earlier. If the American government said there is no send wave going to Liberia, we're dead. So my first question to you before I even answer your question is, when send wave was not there, how were we remitting monies to Liberia from different families to that country?
No, I
We were
didn't say.
using.
I said I talked to someone. Please
Hmm.
follow the conversation. I said I talked
Hmm.
to a Liberian because
Hmm.
Sendway is the easiest way now. People are very tired going through Western Union and RIA and that of the money grant, because when they go to the banks to get the money, is just too much. The lines and the corruptions in the
The
bank.
bureaucracy
So,
just too
yeah,
much.
it's too much. So with Sendwave, you just go on the side, talk to the money changer, he get his cut, and you just get whatever, just so you can be able to take care of your situation for that day. But that's what the person was saying. So I think it's the proximity of getting the money, the closest it is to get the money, rather than go through all of the bureaucratic red tips and the in-depth corruptions that the banks are presenting through the tellers.
Well, it is more convenient, but it doesn't mean that there is no same way. We're dead because we've been getting money over more than 30 years,
I'm
and
just
there was no
saying
same
that
way.
it's the perspective of someone, and I was
Yeah,
very
and
clear.
I
I
think
didn't
that's
say I
wrong.
said.
And apart from that, and you also talk about the corruption that happens when people send money by MoneyGram and other remittances agency. Even the same way, if they charge you to send the money, then they also charge you with that to get the money. So I think same way even is more corrupt than the rest. But let me answer your question. Those Liberians that are going to protest against Ambassador McCarthy, I mean that's their constitutional right. I mean it has been done in so many countries. Happened in Nigeria, happened in Ghana in 1995. It also happened in Kenya. They rendered the ambassador in those respective countries as persona non grata, and the government investigated. And well, that was in Ghana, that was the British government, and when I was the American ambassador, what did they do? They investigated them, and they changed the ambassador. I don't think they are protesting against the United States of America. Maybe they are protesting against the ambassador. You you remember the first lady that was there before Ambassador McCarthy? What's her name? I just forgot the name. That
Is
lady.
it Linda Greenfield?
Yes, yes. No, not Greenfield.
Okay.
The previous.
Anyway, there was an ambassador
Yeah,
that
you're
people
right. The ambassador
protested
before
against. Yeah.
McCarthy. The
Yeah.
opposition didn't like her, and they were even trying to protest against her. They said she was siding with the way administration so much. When we had the June 7 protest, which I supported, they were saying
Can
that.
you just hold a second? Let me take this caller quick. Put him in
Sure,
queue. I'll come right back to you. Let me put this
sure.
caller. The caller from a 3770. Stay right there. I'll come back to you. I'm putting you in queue 3770. I'll come back to you. Um, Let me go back to the caller in Massachusetts. Yeah, just 30 seconds. Wrap it up.
Let me wrap up quick. Yeah, so just to answer your question in short, I think that's their constitutional right. It's been done in other countries. The American government, they investigated their respective ambassadors in those countries. and they changed to replace them. I mean, Linda Greenfield, the opposition thought they were against them because the June 7, when having the June 7 protests, she was vehemently against it, and she was advising Henry Costa to stop and not put the stop. So the opposition thought they were against them. So I don't think they're protesting against the American government, it's just the individual, and to consider him as persona non grata. So I think it's a constitutional right. But thanks for having me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to
Thank
talk
you.
on the
Thank
show.
you, Mr.
Bye.
Dixon. Your perspectives are well considered.
Bye.
Let me go to the next caller here tonight from 2338.
As persona
No,
non grata.
33,
So I think
rather
it's a constitutional right.
3770. Good evening.
Yeah,
Welcome.
hello.
Yeah, your name?
Yeah, my name is Hashin family. I'm calling from Allentown, Pennsylvania.
It's a pleasure. Welcome to the issues room. Your contribution.
Yeah, it's those guys are so seditious and they are confused. They didn't know where they are heading because this guy is talking just now. He's a sedition.
Okay.
Because if the people, if they sanction your government, what they are doing, they are corrupting the Liberian people. You can't come out to say you hate the ambassador.
Absolutely.
These are all sedition. And why you are saying about the same wave, it's the easier way to send money in Liberia because all those banks in Liberia, they are corrupt. If you send
Absolutely.
100 to somebody, when they go there, they want to take like article, like you have to gain a $25 before you receive your money, and they will tell you they say, oh, no money here.
Yeah.
Because
And-
all what you talk,
but I think what the caller said, it makes sense. They have the constitutional right to protest. It's just that
they
it's-
have the
it's-
right to protest.
just
That's
that-
their constitutional right.
what
The
is the
optics.
who's
The
the
optics is
protesting?
what.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Again, as I said, if Ambassador only read what the Treasury Department sent to him, he's the conduit
Yeah,
through
but
which
he-
the Americans
he's
can.
only giving the information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not doing what they tell him to do.
They,
But the
and-
Nigerian people, they don't understand.
No man, the Liberians for you. What y'all still said? 3 people, the white, the black, the white
The
man,
white,
the
the
black,
black,
man,
the Liberian man.
man.
people,
Eh.
that's people, man.
So our people will continue to suffer in Liberia if they didn't do the right thing. Because I know they will elect Joe by me, and it's going to be worse than before. In here,
Yeah.
since November 1st from Liberia, it's going to 51 days now because you're going back. It's article December
22nd.
51 day.
December
Mm.
22nd.
Mhm.
December 22nd. This is my first time in history since I was born to see President leave the country for almost 2 months.
But the man will extend the thing. The man will just spend New Year out of the country. He was stay until after New Year.
That's the Liberian people. That LB that they're the ones suffering.
All right, my brother. Thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
before you leave, so your position is they shouldn't protest, right? They're wasting their time, right?
They are wasting their time.
Okay. All right. So we got one against one. The previous caller says the constitutional right to protest. You say they're wasting their time. All right. Thank you.
All right.
And I would just like to say, Volcano, that yeah, it is true that people have the constitutional right, to protest, to express their feelings or regarding whatever. But they should also take into consideration the implication of their action. How do you go against a country that is trying to get rid of individuals who are undermining the peace and stability of your country?
But read what Dr. Dixon says here. He says constitutional right. Most Liberians are ignorant of the Constitution. How can you protest the major contributor to your budget?
Yes.
How can you protest against the major contributor to your budget? You
Yeah.
have the right to protest, but what exactly are you protesting?
What are
The
you?
nation has 65% of illiteracy rate. Young people should be in school rather than they have been politicized. And they're
Absolutely.
only politicizing in Dr. Dixon because they want them to stand in the line in shine or rain to vote. You know,
Yeah.
when these kids made up their mind or make rather up their mind and say, oh, I'm going to vote for John Brown. When they come into the polling station, they usurp them, pull them to the side, say, my man, you left your house, you got food there. No, okay, you have $50
You
here.
have $50.
Give me your voting ID card. And prove they vote
Yeah.
for who they want. Moses, another caller.
Yeah, go ahead.
Caller
Mhm.
from 8851. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Joseph Smith, and I'm calling from Rhode Island.
Okay, just hang on. Let me put the next caller in queue quick. The caller from 8012, Pennsylvania, 8012. Please stay. I'll come back to you. Let me take the caller prior to you. Just hang on there. I'll come back to you. 8551. Is that you, caller?
Yes,
Go
yes,
ahead.
Joseph Smith. Yeah, you see, the guy who just left the line, he said the previous guy who called is a CDC because he's speaking for the government.
Okay.
So suppose somebody accuse him too that he is from the Joseph Walker camp
No,
because
no,
he's
no, no,
talking
no, no.
against.
Hey, you can't say that. Just say the opposition. You can't call me, my man. I don't know how would I do the thing.
I
Well,
think
that wow,
he's
wow,
Say
the
the,
receiving.
SSCDs.
no, the sedition are the one ruling.
Uh-huh,
Anything from the
uh-huh.
opposition could be Braga, it could be Cummings, it could
It
be
could be Cummings, it could be
myself,
Benina Uri,
right?
right?
So
Anybody.
just say
Yeah,
it for
so,
the
okay.
opposition.
Okay, good. So labeling as opposition is
Yeah.
that fair? It's not fair because I don't know that meant to be opposition. So the
Okay.
thing is, you can just because somebody supposed to go, but let's say constitutional in America here.
Okay.
When Joe reacting to America, people protest. When the guy from Sierra Leone, the president was saying that bill, when he people protest in America,
Yeah,
put a lot
people
of
did. People protested against
American government to
the
call the
president.
people, I said or not. So
Yeah.
for someone say they shouldn't protest, they're wasting their time.
So what you
Isn't
say
it?
now? They should protest? That all
Yeah, they
we
should
won't know.
protest.
Okay.
Yeah, they should protest. That's it,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
It
Thank
doesn't
you.
mean when they protest, they will call the man back, but they should protest. Yeah.
All right. Let me take the
All
next
right.
caller. 2-1 now, Moses. The two people said in my protest.
Yeah.
The caller
Yeah,
from
should protest. That's it, right?
8012, your name?
It doesn't mean when they protest.
Francis did not calling from North Dakota.
Yeah,
Francis,
Francis.
how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, McConnell. How are you? We used to work together. You
Yeah.
remember?
Oh, yeah,
Deborah?
my man. I see you out there with one of your men. You'll be doing your thing.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure,
we gotta
man.
keep doing our thing because our country got a man leading the
I
country.
know.
It's a man.
I swear. Hold on. Let me see.
Except
Hold on.
Oh, man, this is a very interesting show.
The caller from something said Levy Driving School. Can you hold? I'll come back to you. If you're calling for the issues room, caller, are you calling for the issues room?
yes.
All right, just hold. I'll come back to you. Thank you so much for confirming. Yeah, go ahead, Francis.
Yeah. Are you ready for me?
I read it, my man. Do you spill the milk?
Look.
We'll give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes quick. Spill the milk.
Okay, real quick. Look, let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something. Since Todman time, I can remember I was not born anyway, but I read it, okay? Todman used to get on the ship and go all over the place. Since Todman time, even the man who was the craziest man, armed to his teeth with guns, he didn't do what Joshua is doing. Samuel do. To leave the country for 8 weeks,
And ask for
this
extension.
modern time, this level of presidential insanity, this is my first time to see it.
Mm.
This is my first time to see it. But you know what? Liberian people in their majority, for the most part, they're not normal people.
Oh, wow.
This kind of story is equivalent to the late Michael Jackson daughter killing his own employer. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And that's why the California judge told you not only that you will go to jail, but you will never practice any medicine in America. Because you can't have somebody paying you $450,000, then you overdose and they die, you didn't care. So you go to jail and we
But the funny thing is, you also will be collecting your 450,000 if you kept that man
Of
alive.
course. But you tell the man that the man destroy employer. How America, you gonna protest against ambassador when he's simply translating what the government telling you to do? Then you're not going to have any place to go and make no, because election commission was built by American people dollars. Our tax dollars, that what they used to build the election commission.
Of course.
University of Liberia Law School, Temple Justice, you name it, every single agricultural project in Liberia, American people, we are here working our tax dollar inside. USA ID. But leave that one. American embassy, domestic workers, people who are Liberians. American embassy offer the highest pay. The highest pay more than any foreign embassy in Liberia. You're going to protest against the ambassador? Where can water carry rock or river carry rock? They are mad people. These people got insanity. Volcano, they are sick people.
So someone, Flomo Augusta P said, please, you are insulting the Liberian people. You should apologize.
I'm not apologizing to none of them.
Okay.
In this class called 1980, one group of people said, Congo woman born role, native woman born soldier. What happened to that group of people?
And the way you sound like native male. You
Oh,
I'm
follow?
talking about native
You
man.
see
But that's what I'm talking about.
And
But
you're the one.
I'm not a criminal native man.
I know.
Okay, this other group of indigenous vampires, looters, state looters, they need to go. And you know what we're going to do? We're not going to take the bazooka, the AK-47 for them. We're going to go to the ballot box and kick their asses out, and then, you know, confiscate everything on the basis of law. That's what we're going to do to them.
That's right.
All right, you can't have, you know, the thing can really get to me. People that kill these people, they say, you came my man, you came my van, I will vote for you. You think they're normal people? You think they are normal, Volcano? You came my man, you came my pa, I will vote for you. You know, boy, you don't know, boy, I will vote for you. Okay? Sanction, no sanction, I will vote for you. How can I tell my girl steal your money and you're rally around in my giddy to be your senator? How can you do that? You say you're not a man.
Yeah.
You're not normal. These people in psychiatric, they go and help them. They are sick.
Thank you, Francis.
Don't even mind the cold suit.
Yeah.
So that thing they're talking, all that thing, that flow show, don't even give it attention. Because it ain't going to work. They can have all the constitutional right, the very constitution, they don't even know it. Some can do, they put it under 97, Article 97. They say everything they did, whether wrong or right, nobody can judge it. Locally and internationally. They know their constitution. Article 1 says all power is inherent in the people. Why you not holding your president accountable for stealing, for looting in the day? Then you say you're going to protest against American ambassadors that are trying to rescue you every single day. They brought 100 million cocaine, drug in the country. If Americans have not got into it, it will have gotten down in our country there, and they spread it in West Africa. And just so you know, Joshua is under current drug investigation because he got a record right here in Minnesota. And following that guy got convicted for 20 years. Breaking news, okay?
Who? That
the other guy that were chasing him, he went to Liberia, Joshua appointed manager, deputy manager for operation.
Oh, wow.
And the drug we're talking about 1 or 2 weeks ago, it came through the free port. Americans got to get into it. They had to crack it down. Okay? You talking about young people, you ain't going to school, the university don't even have a learning environment? Then you say they made that the best? They are not normal people, my brother. All those are doing that, they're not normal people. It is not about us making mistakes, but the willpower for us to correct our mistake. But we Liberians send 1990, send the war in 2003. Morovia not even get light. And you got presidents that are going all over the place in the private jet. You can't protest against our. The person that comes to rescue you, then you want to protest against him. Shame on them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother, for taking my call.
Thank you, Francis.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And I'd like to apologize to our viewers and listeners. He used the word ass, and we don't use those kinds of words.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Apologize. He gone, right?
Hold on. Francis. Francis, okay, he gone.
He gone.
But
Okay.
anyway, yeah. So I'll say that I apologize on behalf of him. We don't use profanity. I think it was just a quick oversight. He got a little overzealous, and it sometimes it happens, you know.
Yeah,
I have colleague Pato here. I went to the next caller, but okay, colleague, can you just hold? I'll come back to you. Let me go back to the caller previously in queue. I'll come back to you, colleague. All right, the caller from Levy Driving School. Welcome to the Issues Room.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
Thank you for your patience, sir. Sometimes, you know, our callers, they get a little ramped up, and Francis is one of those guys who is very passionate about
his country, you know.
Yeah, I know as is a dunking, but not in that case. All right, go ahead.
How are you doing, guys? How you doing?
It's
good. Well, good. Thank you. Welcome to the Issues Room.
Issue tonight. You know, when other guy called in and then started polling, and the other guy called in now is Unity Party and then CDC. But what I want to say tonight on this issue of corruptions, America trying to take action, the ambassador trying to take action off. Who is the number one donor, like my brother in the studio there with you saying, number one donor of the Liberian budget is America. So then who is corrupt when I am the number one donor to your budget and I know you are a thief and I continue to give you money? then who's the problem?
So, Volcano,
America should be
let me answer that question.
Liberia when it comes to corruptions in Liberia.
All right. So
So no,
just hold. Let my man answer the question quick.
Yeah,
Okay.
America's support to Liberia and other
I'm listening to
countries.
you, man.
Yeah,
Just-
do you hear me?
Okay.
America's support to Liberia and other countries around the world is meant to help sustain human lives. You may have political leadership crisis, but America will not sit by and allow the millions of people to die because you have few people who are misdirecting. So the action
I
taken
hear
by the
anything.
US, so the action taken by the US government to say, hey, McGill, Bill Towe, and other, you guys need to step aside, is just one of such, actions that it take to correct the problem.
Okay.
America is not
He's
going to withhold all support because you
Moses,
have few people stealing. Yeah, go ahead.
he's not hearing you, so I guess.
Okay, yeah, you explain that.
So
Explain
no,
that
no,
to
no.
him.
Let him finish, then you can.
Okay, sure.
Let's just continue, my brother. Go ahead.
I see it on the other on the other side. I'm not talking about Liberian like going out there to protest against the ambassador, but America have been a problem because knowing what they know now, not only just we are government, not only LM government, they know Liberian president, past and present, they are being thieves. So how can you give a criminal money, continue to give it, and you see that they're not doing the right thing, and you continue to give it?
I see.
Then
So let me come in quick. Moses said here that America's role in providing support is not to put monies into people's pocket. That is why they follow those monies to make sure it's used for the intended purpose. Some of the monies put in the Liberian people budget is for healthcare, it's for education, it's for the enhancement of rule of law, it's for the enhancement of agriculture, all of these layers that keep a country thriving. And that's why the key word in that sanction, if you recalled, the ambassador said these people are impeding Liberia's potential to thrive,
Yeah.
to continue on as a nation.
correct. I agree with it. Sanctions. As I read the sanctions, I
So
agree
what's your
with
take now? What is it? Do you agree with the protest or not the protest? Because I got another caller online.
the only protest is, I agree indirectly, not even the ambassador. The suffering Liberians should protest against, the United States to stop sending money in the budget because they're not gaining nothing. The money going into the few, 10% or 5% pocket or in their bank account, like you're just talking about the guy eating in Qatar and stuff. So the Liberians should protest against America to stop sending the money because they're not getting anything.
But then the Liberians will die, my man. Let's talk
Listen,
some hustle now.
they're not going to die. They're not going because they're not getting nothing.
Okay.
What the essence of you sending money to me and the money not going to reach to me? That you're talking about the same wave. If I send you money and the money not going to reach to you, what the essence of me continue to send it to the president?
You make a point, and I think is granted to understand it from that perspective. I think America needs to tighten a little more. Whatever money
Find other means of making sure that the money would reach the Liberian people instead of telling the government, or find some NGO. America will sponsor the NGO too. The money will not even come to Liberian government, but find an NGO that will help the Liberians. I think that's the best way instead of coming in the budget of the government and then they take it and pocket it.
All right, thank you. Let me take the next caller. Thank you so much. Colleague Pato, thanks for your patience. Welcome to the Issues Room, 106 edition. You're following the conversation. What's your take?
Well, I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to participate tonight. What I really want to talk about here concerning this issue, while it is true that it falls within the purview of each citizen to protest freely, in as much as their protest does not cause harm, physical harm for the other person, they are more than right to go about and have their protest. But now let's question the ingredients in this protest. Why are we protesting? We are saying we want to protest because the American ambassador is melting into Liberian matter because he said that people have been sanctioned in keeping with the Magnitsky Act, and anyone who is doing business with these individuals we're doing it at their own risk because they stand the risk of being sanctioned themselves. If this is what we're going to protest about, we have bigger things. We have greater things that we can protest about. We can protest on about our national team not qualifying for the World Cup. Well, we can spend $1.5 million to go and watch other country play.
No,
When our teams
2.5. 2.5.
Okay, well, I stand to be corrected.
Mhm.
We can spend $2.5 million to go and watch other team play. It could have been our
For
national
men like
color.
Colasco,
You
we
know?
jumping all in the stadium. I mean, I know
Right.
that it was an
Okay,
embarrassment.
so-
Hold on, Cully, hold on, quick. It had to be an embarrassment to the other spectators around there. The way the guys were yelling and carrying on, you could hear the pure Liberian accent, my man. No refinery. Oh,
Wow.
we not do it. Oh, we not do it. Oh, hey.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't see that, Volcano.
That's
But
all
let's
the-
give the caller to
continue,
go
caller.
ahead. Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, so what that shows the lack of the sense of nationalism and lack of the sense of patriotism. We believe just in our individuals and a few handpick of people that are surrounded by us, and those are the people we care about. We do not care about the national issues in the country. People are poverty stricken. There's no adequate healthcare in the country. Inadequate supply of electricity, inadequate supply of water, inadequate supply of medication, inadequate supply of sanitation material. Those are the things that should concern us. But we sit here and say, yeah, we're going to go protest against the American ambassador because he's telling us that we are doing business with people who are alleged to be criminals, and we should be mindful of how we do business with them because we could well fall into the same web. And this is what the protest is about. You want to protest about nationalism, protest about the issues that are happening, the corruption that is taking place at LIGIS. That would make sense.
But even protest against your president who left the country for all the time.
Well, I was coming to that. Yeah, protest against the president, unwarranted stay outside the country. We elected him to serve us as president of the country, not to go and watch World Cup. We should be protesting for the president to come back to work. Because that would be in the better interest of the Liberian people as us standing over there, jumping over the stadium, I have to say the Lone Star of Liberia have qualified. Now, we don't want to take the credit away from Tim Weah. Yeah, he's a descendant of Liberian, ancestry. Yeah, we don't want to take that away from him. He represents the United States of America. It is fine for the president to go up there and support his son. But I mean, we had private jets. He going on a private jet. He could have flown from here on Friday to go Saturday to go and see the game on Monday and come right back to work. That's how people do business around the world. And, but this is the first time this president will go down on record for being the president who took the longest trip outside the country. And the tangibles also, we should look at that. How much tangible is brought in there for the amount of money that is spent outside the country, while people in the hinterland of our country do not have access to education. People into the hinterland of our country do not have access to quality health. Because the American ambassador came out one time and said they were sending medication into the hinterland and people were stealing the medication.
Yeah.
The medication was not reaching the people that was intended for. The medication was coming back to the capital and going into people's private clinic. How wicked, how selfish can you be? And you call yourself national, you have sycophants over there singing the songs of glory around there. I have to say everything is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. And you mentioned something that callers were saying, what if the Americans start saying, wait, I mean, that was just something, an example the person was good, but what that statement was trying to say was that, hey, what if you say America cannot do nothing to Liberia? What if America saying, all of these entities that send that wire money to Liberia, they all are branded into the United States of America. If they say they put sanction on all of those people because they're doing business with criminal-minded people, what do you think going to happen to us as the ordinary citizens? We're going to suffer.
And that's a better way to put it, Cully. That's a better way to put it. Because the monies we're sending is fueling the criminal entity.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's
the country will crumble.
That's the point you were trying to drive across, and the caller was saying, "Oh, if you stop saying we money grant in Western Europe," but we're not saying that they weren't going. Yeah, we're not saying they weren't going. But what we are saying here is that if these entities are being charged for interacting with criminal-minded people, people who have been sanctioned, the ambassador said we stand the risk of being sanctioned ourselves. Then what happened to our ordinary people? That's what we need to start taking. Not because we have money in our pockets today, We should forget to know that we are 5 million people, and only a minute portion have money in our pocket. Other people do not have. People are sleeping hungry. Our kids are drug infested in our country, and not able to have any sort of hope. The future is doomed for some of these kids.
Yeah.
Do we want to sit here and sing glory, glory, glory to people who pocketing our national resources? I mean, we need a reawakening in this country, and it's only going to happen with education. I think because our people people in the territory are taking advantage of the illiteracy rate of 70% in the country. Because when you come to voting, people do not vote on the issue because they don't know what they guys in my village doesn't understand government responsibility to him. He think the guy who carried declaration on the eve of election is the big God. It's the best guy ever.
Let me put this caller in queue so you can take 30 seconds to wrap up quick. The caller from a Georgia number, that's 5736. I'll come back to you. Just hold, let the previous caller just wrap up quick. I'll come back to you. Yeah, Collie, 30 seconds. Collie.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Collie.
I was saying, when people start to learn how to vote on the issue, we need civic education in our country so people can learn the government responsibility of providing you role. Is the government responsibility of providing you healthcare opportunity for your children to go to school, economic, empowerment. And once you understand those issues, when we go to the pool, it is no longer going to be about the guy who brings the most air correct. It's the guy who provides you opportunity for you to thrive. And this is what the ambassador is saying. These people who are being sanctioned have taken away from us. Thank you for allowing me.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Brilliant way to put it. Yeah. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for showing up here in the issues room. This is home. Come here. Let's conversate. The caller from 5736. Can you just hold quickly? I'll be right there with you. Just hold. Amma is saying here. Amma Framer is saying here. These are the same Liberians during the war. They were begging the American ambassador to come. People are going to rescue all. We die. You can turn your back on also. Now you enjoying the people come to tell you say you should be enjoying more. We're coming now to help you. Then you get involved. You say you want protest. But quickly, Moses, let me bring the caller in.
Yeah, bring the caller in. Yeah.
Our next topic. The caller from the Georgia number. Are you still there?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome. Your name?
Hi, my name is Madeline.
Madeline, welcome to the issues room tonight. It sounds like you're driving.
I'm driving. I'm sorry.
Okay, just stay safe. Just stay safe. Okay. Go ahead. Are you following the conversation?
Right. So what is going on in Liberia is an embarrassment to every one of us. For a president to just leave the country for all the amount of weeks while your peers are in their country and working. You leave your country, you abandon your job, and you just come on the other side because you got to watch some kind of game. You know, it's so sad. And then it's like after the war, we have two different kind of Liberian. We have the Liberian before the war, and then we got Liberian after the war. Because it's clear that this particular president, he does not want this job. He don't want a job. The Liberian people took the job and gave it to him. He said, I didn't do nothing, and you're giving the job.
But stop there. There's a writer here who said that he's out there looking for a buyer to sell Liberia. So
I think he wants to sell the country. Give everyone that share.
Listen now. I think he wants to sell the country and give everyone a share.
He cannot sell Liberia. Liberia is bigger than him.
Hold on now. No Arab boys will buy anything. No boys will buy anything. We have got plenty of countries. He got France. He got Ghana. He got Jamaica. You got America. They make our our control. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, he can't. So whoever wrote that, he cannot sell Liberia. Liberia is bigger than him. Liberia was there before he was born or before he came, and he will leave, and Liberia will still be there. We will go through all of this, but at the end, we will come out with flying colors. Every time I look at the country around us and I see what happening to our country. If you are Liberian, if you are born Liberian, that your neighbor street is buried in Liberia, and this that happening to our country does not concern you or don't hide you when you see what's going on and what the country around us are doing better and they're moving forward, and we are in the same spot, or we either going backward. It is sad what happening to our country. But you see, every time you listen to somebody from Liberia now, they say we are tired with war. But I prayed that the people in Liberia, because they're the one that will vote. When Nigeria had election, Ghana had election, and they went online and registered their people to come to Liberia and vote. They are telling us we should fly into Liberia in December, register, come back, and then go again to go vote. What all that money? What are you wasting all that money for? You know?
Yeah.
So we will go to the ballot box. If some of us cannot go to register and vote, we will make sure the last campaign that will work on the baboon is the one family to family, because we don't want so happy our family in Liberia. When our family can walk out of their home and vote in the direction we want them to vote, then we will see what family member will stay behind and vote CDC. This election 2023, my brother Shelton, this is do or die. Because even we know you guys, when you were journalists, we know what you did in Liberia. You want to tell me the government cannot bring the seasoned journalists to Liberia to train everything that we see passing around with small $10 radio in their head?
Man, listen, me, I just sit down and look at the people, let them do their thing between me and you. But again, I say thank you so much for your contribution here tonight. You say that do or die, it is do or die. You remember they said be the driver, be there, you die like worry.
We all need that.
That do or die. Thank you so much, sweetie.
I'm against that protest. If go to the American embassy to go protest. Remember the people get a door there in that yard when they release it will not be.
Yeah, let me tell you other corner. Thank you so much.
Jesus.
The pit bulls will come out.
Yeah.
2338. Welcome to the issues room.
Your name? My name is Augustus P. Flomo. I've been commenting, but I just decided to call in.
Okay, Augustus.
Welcome, Augustus.
This coming election will be do or die and we'll spend money. We will be do or die. We all going to spend money. We tell our family people how to vote, and we'll vote George Weah for the second term. We're all spending money. You think they alone got money in America? We always go to will spend. There's only election will be money. They are got a big family. All of that, I've been telling them, if you don't vote George Weah, you're saying we're not coming. So they all made that resolution. So if they think they alone got money, we all going to fight that election with money.
And secondly, let me ask you a question.
He will not hear you. Hold on, you are coming. Be the driver, be there. You die and worry. Begin. Who coming with force?
Man, I want to ask that question. Let me ask me. I'm gonna
hearing me.
Going on in the connection. Just go ahead, make a statement.
Yeah, so it's not that we don't got money. We all going to vote George Weah. The second term, they say, all the other countries around us, they do well and moving forward. Why are Ghanaians running in droves to Liberia? The inflation rate in Ghana, the economy is very difficult right now, and people are complaining.
Okay, so I'll stop you right there. You right there, because your government that promised that Liberians will not be spectator in the economy is not increasing the human capital by bringing in programs to develop the people there. Your teachers are all volunteers who are barely out of high school. They're not providing teacher training to get these people to. So these people are coming to Liberia looking for job, and they giving them the job because George Weah is Opon. He's Ghanaian. Make your argument. You laughing?
Joria is not Ghanaian.
Oh, okay.
You know very well. Joria is a crew man.
Nah, okay.
But
The crew and Ghanaians, they're always in the fish. They're always in the fishery business. Yeah, I know.
Okay, I get where you're coming from because they were Liberians. I think in the 60s or 50s in somewhere called Jamestown, there were crew people. So I think that's what you're talking about, right?
But brother, listen. Yeah, Ghanaians coming, Nigerians coming because our country is porous. It's just an open flood.
No,
gate.
they come in because of greener pasture. Because the economy in Ghana is tough.
It's not greener pasture. It's not greener. You can't go to Ghana and make any good living because the Ghanaian man will make sure he hires a Ghanaian. It's nationalism. When you open your country, even in the store boss in the store, in the Indian people store, the Lebanese store. I do a lot of real estate in Liberia. So I know they are all boys from India, from Lebanon, selling in the store. The only Liberian man that in the store is the one that going in the back to bring the goods outside. He's not even competent to write.
It's a very sad situation.
Your purchases order. So imagine that. So let's leave that topic. Liberia,
let me just conclude
is
quick.
not doing well. Let's put it
my brother, let me just conclude quick. I don't know when you went to Liberia, but when I went to Liberia recently,
when you recently?
About 8 months ago.
You talking 8 months? I just came by in May. Then you say,
okay, well, it's not far. Anyway, it's like 2 or 3 months in between. But let me just conclude so you when I went in Liberia, when I went to Liberia recently, it is my first time to see Liberians being involved in their own economy. Liberians have hotels, they have restaurants, they have entertainment center, they have boutique. It's the very first time for Liberians to have.
Flomo, slow down. Do you know the bottlenecks? Do you know the depth of corruption? I got family in businesses in Liberia. Do you know how much my family suffer as a result of? Come on, man.
Why they suffer? Tell me.
Because too many corruption. You know what it means to run a business?
But tell me about the issue of kickback. Tell the mayor about the kickback. When the contract is offered, if you don't give a kickback, you don't get anything.
Man, listen. You know what you do? Get all your children in from here, y'all go vote for CDC. All right?
No, I'm not children from here. But they want the whole family.
Okay.
And I want to say, got money.
All right.
All will fight national money.
But man, why you can't relocate now?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Flomo relocate today.
Moses, quickly, let me say this.
Yeah.
It has been on my mind. I don't want to lose that. Before we go to our next topic, and I think we'll go in a reverse. We'll leave the fiasco census and we'll come to the last topic. If the time permits, we'll come back to the census, okay?
Okay.
So yeah, we'll move to the bottom. But what happened to Marabio the other day? Marabio was in England. When the people started to revolt,
he went right back home.
In Sierra Leone. When the people took to the streets, Marabio said, "Let me not joke, yo. If I stay at the man, I will take my seat from me."
May return.
Marabio got on the plane and went back to Liberia. To Sierra Leone. Sorry. This president got it made. The man made sumo on the Liberian people. They said they're tired. They this, they that. Let me call us just who I'll come to you. Call us just who I'll come to you. You know? So we're just making a case here. Here is one president next door. Next door. Marabio. Just the other day, the people were in the 1,000 young people all over the street. In Sierra Leone, people died. Police died. Buildings were burned. But Marabio did not say, "Oh, you know what? They will solve the problem." He went back and he restored sanity.
Yeah.
But the Liberian people, they are sitting there. They can barely find a cup of rice. They can barely eat. They're struggling daily, Moses. And they got a president who packed his bag, took $2.5 million with people like Colasco then to be jumping in the stadium like crazy, man. You got a one-leg goal. Say what you want to say. I don't care. Timothy Weah goal is not for Liberia. That America go. Okay? That America go. And you leave your country, then you ask for extension?
But
You really
not only the extension volcano, it is also being
hold on, Moses.
yeah.
Caller from Minnesota's 465 now. Just hold. I'll come back to you. I'll come
Yeah,
back to you.
I just wanted to say quickly that it is also being speculated.
Put a caller from Levy driving school back in queue. Let
Yeah.
me just take the caller, yeah?
Yeah, quickly, let me just give the info, right? It
Give
is also being speculated that the president has asked the Minister of Finance to send him additional $1.5 million.
Moses say that in lava because you not make me. Let me shake my neck first. Go ahead. You
I'm
see the
saying to
president?
you,
It's speculated.
it is being speculated in the media
Mm-hmm.
that President Weah
Is
has
asking for
asked the
another
Minister of
1.5
Finance for another $1.5 million.
on the extension of his stay
Yes.
for his leisure for his. My man, hold
Yeah.
on. Let's take the caller. Caller.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah, let hurry up quick, guys. We're running out of time. We gotta introduce
I
our
just
next
want to
one.
respond. I just want to respond to this guy that's saying he gonna go back, to Liberia and vote to like our sister finished saying they came on.
Mhm.
I always said this in the church. I said I'm praying God can hear me to send all the Liberian that prison church we are government that the country is better. That America, Australia, Europe deport all the Liberian back. It's like you get out of the smoke hole and then you're laughing at the other people that are in that hole. That the place is good.
I'm telling
These
you.
guys, they're bluffing themselves. They need to say we're all gonna take our money. He got money here, he's making the money here. He go and put a cynic back in charge and then run back and come back to America to work. May God take all of us back to go suffer the same way our brothers and sisters are suffering. Thank you, God, for the show. Bye bye.
Yeah, I mean, he made a very salient point,
Take this caller from Minnesota. Caller 4659. The caller, the caller from a 4659.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you?
Let's push this quick.
Hello, can you all hear me?
We can hear you.
All right, my name is Pastor Mo, and I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for the issue room again. That caller that left the line previously, that Augustine Flomo, his name is not Flomo.
Okay.
That
everybody using pen name, so we understand.
Yeah, it's a pay agent for the CDC.
Yeah.
We know that he goes on every talk show and try to back the CDC because we know that he's a pay agent. But I will say this to all of the listener and to you that are on George.
Let me just put this caller in queue, my brother. Quick. The caller from 2338, just stay in queue. I'll come back to you. Just stay in queue. Yeah, continue. Go ahead. Continue, my brother.
Yes, I will say this to the many listeners that are listening and those that will come on later to listen after you all leave. There's no way, George, we are going to win a second term in Liberia. The reason why the Liberians don't want to demonstrate, they don't want to get on the street, it is because their mind is made up. It is because they are surprised. But for me, I was never surprised because we spoke these words 2017 and 18. The people never listened to us. Now, look what is happening in Mangibi. There are some group of pastors that got together and denounce those other pastors who said they were speaking.
They're rubbing holy oil. Just say the
Yes.
one that rubbing holy oil, my gay hair.
Yes, but don't you know that a couple of pastors got together, called themselves association pastors of Mangibi County, and they spoke against the candidacy of
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel, yes, of Maggie, and they said they will not allow the county to be used as a hideout for unsanctioned criminals. Let him go and examine himself. So people's eyes are opening, the people's minds are made up. So if Baflomo then have the money and George Weah and Maggie then have the money, let them give the money, let it receive the money, let it eat the money. They didn't work for it. The people's minds are made up. Those people know who exactly they will vote for because what they are going through, They are seeing it for themselves. The one we call Yakba in Liberia is the one they are going through. Thank you very much.
Forget it, know they call Yakma. The hunger, my man. Yeah.
All right. This is the last caller for this segment. Quick. Caller, make your point quick. 30
Yeah, I'll make
seconds.
my point quick. The brother accused, so I had to come back.
I
Listen,
know it was you. I gave you the opportunity.
no problem. Thank you, my brother, for taking it for the second time. He said I'm a
Man,
paid
we are
agent.
objective here. We hold no bad blood.
No problem. I'm well established. I work for my money. I went to school. I built a great company. I employ Americans. I employ Liberians, and I'm well established. I'm not rich, but God bless me. I've done well. So Liberian God make it pay. So you talk about they made a pay agent. People who know me, they know I'm not. I do this thing because
so
I
where
believe.
Where real name?
That's my real name, Augustus P. Flomo.
Okay, all right.
Listen, people, I do this thing because I believe within the current field of politician that we have.
Thank you, Augustus.
George Weah is the best person to rule this country. Maybe if you join me in the field, I will evaluate you and I will choose over George Weah. But what we have right now, is George Weah the best that we can produce right now? I would say yes. So you talk about the man is paid agent.
Wait. Say something and I will hold you there quick on the 30 seconds.
Yes.
George Weah is the best politician. We're not looking for politician. We're looking for leader.
No, I said Georgia is the best person. Maybe it sounded like politician.
No, he said the best person.
He's the best person right now within the
We're
curfew.
not looking for a person. We're looking for a leader.
Okay, then let me change person to leader. Currently, Alex Cummings,
Volcano,
and the rest of the people, Benedict Ure, George Weah is the best leader right now that can lead this country, and he's doing a great job.
Let me take the call.
All right, my brother. Thanks.
Yeah, caller 8012. Make your point quick. Lower your monitor and make your point, caller. Your name. 8012, caller. Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Volcano.
Yeah,
Volcano. This is Francis. I'm calling by. I'm sorry, I got a call by.
Hey, my man.
I want to offer apology for the for the word used initially because I was kind of driving, almost got home.
No, my man. Listen,
when you were talking,
we understand the passion.
Yeah, but
let me just catch it quick. That's all. So go ahead, make it quick.
Yeah, let me just say something quickly. You know, Liberia has gone below animal farm. Yeah, you know what
I know the book, my man. I did a book in literature in the 9th grade.
Yes. So when we talk the way we talk,
talking about
he's
talking about Snowboy Napoleon.
For example, those of us that were born late 70, for example. Look, let me tell you something. Liberians, especially those who they can annoy me. I don't have much conversation with them. Okay. For example, Volcano. Let's take it from 1980. All folks that were born 1980, they're 42 years old today. Okay. Folks that were born 1990, they are 32. Folks that were born when Charles Taylor said enough is enough, I'm leaving, I will be the sacrificial lamb with the 3 goats or 3 cows, whatever that was.
Yeah.
2003, they are 19 years old today.
Yeah. Wow.
George Weah represents that particular group of people.
Okay.
And he led them down and led the country down. No problem. I'm not holding them super responsible. But we all made mistakes. We all studied for tests. We failed. We did not know George Weah. We thought he was like us. Okay, we are all country people, country women, children. Okay, we get it. But now that we know this man, he's not a leader. He has no love for this country. Evident by his behavior every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every single month. I'll never see any human being in my lifetime that worked a particular job for 5 years and they still do not have a practical experience. That is an embarrassment. Not just embarrassment. It's a leadership. It's a leadership insanity. It's a leadership minus, and he doesn't care. Now I see Liberians all over the world. Jerry Squad. Hold a minute. George Weah became Africa best, Europe best, world best. He didn't go to the World Cup. Liberia did not go to the World Cup. His son gone to the World Cup. He's an American. Did they listen to Tim Weah and Tim Weah mother interview? Tim said his father was not in his life. Man say, yeah, I tried, but man said to I let him go for 14 years. Did they listen to that? So these two adults are always been irresponsible, evident by their own admission.
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
then they say irresponsible behavior they are taken to the executive mansion. That's why I, as an individual Liberian, say I will not call George Weah president. I will refer to him as an occupant of the Liberian executive mansion because he has denigrated, reduced, suspended everything that has to do with the sacredness of the office of president in Liberia.
So, Francis,
so I can't call him president.
Francis,
so the point I was making here is, hold on a minute, just few seconds, I'll be done.
Okay.
We made mistake from 1980, 1989, all the way coming this side. Why we have to kill this family on the LIPO with AK-47? Number one. Number two, why we have to kill over 250,000 Liberians and non-Liberians as a result of what? Corruption. It was not about tribalism. It was not about anything. It was about corruption. How can we have Africa best, Europe best, world best under his watch? Losers cannot even play in their home country because the fee is not correct. The football fee not good. The Liberians are cheering for Team Weah. How much? What man what I'm going to get tomorrow morning because Team Weah scored a goal on behalf of America in Qatar? How much are they going to get? Are they going to get food to eat tomorrow morning?
Francis,
because Team Weah scored a goal?
Francis, hear me now. Hear me quick. So this is what I want to do.
It's shameful.
I think Moses will agree with me. Listen, I think you have some
You have some selling points, yeah.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna send you an invitation to join us here in the issues room.
Yeah, let's discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do me a favor. Send me your number to the number you've been calling. Send your number. I will reach out to you and we'll bring you here in the issues room
and discuss.
Yes. So let's have this conversation. So you have all the time in the world to join us here and let's talk about these things. I think you laying a lot of key points here, and some of the viewers are agreeing with you. But I know time constraint. We want to go to our next topic. We didn't know this topic would have consumed almost all of our time, so we want to move on. Please do me a favor. Text your number to me. I will reach out to you, and we'll bring you in the issues room.
No problem. No problem. So I'm going to do that right now. Thank you for allowing me to express my view on the issues.
Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
All right. So Moses, let's not dwell on anything here. Let's go straight rather to. I almost said the American way straight. Americans is straight.
Yeah.
So anyway, we will
the
go
situation with Alexander Cummings.
So Alexander Cummings, all of you folks who are out there, this is another segment in the conversation. We were hoping not to reach past 8:30 now. It seems as though we have gotten consumed by all of this.
Yeah, we gotta go beyond.
Potential is we might go to 9 o'clock. But if you looked at our flyer, and by the way, we want to remind you, this is the issues room. We are at our 106 edition. We present the facts, we present the conversation, we present the opportunity for you to engage. We don't like to talk about these things by ourselves. That is why we open the lines and we open the opportunity for you to chime in the chat room and also to call to be a part of the conversation. The issue room was primarily established to discuss the things that matter and the things that matter to our country, Liberia, to the African continent and the Black diaspora. We encourage you. Our broadcast is on Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now that the time has changed, we have the daylight saving time. It's now midnight to the for those countries in the what you call the
Greenwich
time zone, and that would be Liberia and England and other countries. So again, we invite you. I'm Volcano, Shelton, Moses, Sandy. Both of us have been journalists for the last almost 35 years of our lives. We practice professionally, and we continue to do this for Mama Liberia. What we'll do here is just to create these conversations so we all can have this conversation about our country and where we hope for our country to go. We have no political affiliation. We have no personal ties. We don't come out here and try to incite or try to insult. That is why we help Francis quick for that correction. We try to be as professional, balanced as much as possible. But of course, the truth is, if George Weah was doing what is expected of him as a president, We will hail him, we'll clap for him, we'll jolly jolly, we'll dance the buka with him. But he's not doing those things. How can this man leave our country? Left since November 1st or the 2nd, been out of the country and then ask for extension and then asking for an additional $1.5 million so they can eat lobster, so they can eat baked chicken, so they can eat Arab apple, so they can drink camel milk. You know what it means to drink camel milk, Moses? I'm talking about cow milk. I said
Yeah,
camel milk.
camel milk. Yeah.
Okay, so they can enjoy, themselves. And this is what you leave Liberia to, our people to, and you still got people cheering and laughing. But then in the oppositions, we have Alexander Cummings. Alexander Cummings, who came to prominence a few years ago and has made some headways in the elections. He was third in the last elections, right, Moses?
Yeah.
Third with 7% out of 100%. So he's gaining momentum. And as part of his momentum, we've had some people who seen a two photo of Mr. Cummings the other day here on social media trending. Of course, those pictures are not new, but as part of their way of, bringing him down in his presidential quest, they decided that they'll make this a conversation by bringing these two photos. One of the photos shows Mr. Cummings in a hammock being towed by few Liberians, and this was also displayed by President Todman. But not only that, a second photo shows Mr. Cummings allowing a female to unlace his shoes, untie his shoestrings, and people are saying they connoting it as modern day slavery. This man, his behavior is inhumane and blah blah blah. So we thought to throw this out here so you can weigh in. We'll open the lines simultaneously as Moses and I talk about this. You have the opportunity to come in, have this conversation with us. Is Mr. Cummings wrong for what these pictures depict? Or is it traditional? Or is it the free will of those people where they're on a duress that Mr. Cummings paid them to do this, to elevate himself to this, what we'll consider the Lord status? Let's have this conversation, Moses. So I just wanted to put it in perspective so you can chime in.
Yeah, I mean, you laid a foundation for the discussion already, and even prior to the show, I told you, Volcano, that I personally do not have a problem with that because what we see happening, those photos, are not strange. We have seen a lot of things like that happening. I don't see that as a form of introduction or any form of quote unquote modern slavery. Let's take, for example, on the campus of the University of Liberia, you may have seen several of such, action by students. If the leader spoke well, it is something that really, touched the hearts of the students. The students will go and whoever the leader is, they will they will lift the person up, sometimes even told the person on their shoulder as a means of demonstrating their support and loyalty to that person. It's the same thing that happened to Mr. Cummings. We saw we have seen, in fact, over the year, we saw several photos with rare Liberian history. We saw how Totman was carried. Does that mean that those days Totman was using modern slavery, or did he try to enslave the people? I think in different cultures, people celebrate
Also,
people
let me quickly
differently.
correct myself. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just assumed that Cummings was in third, so everyone is saying that he was in fifth place. Charles Walker's Bronskin, you're right, was in
Okay.
third
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Popon was one.
Omer Boaka was second.
Bronskin was three. Was it Prince Johnson or somebody? But anyhow,
Yeah, but he was the least. Let's
it
just
was
put it
he
that
was
way.
part, he was
the
down
least.
at the bottom.
Yeah,
So
he was
thanks
at
for
the
the
bottom.
correction. He was in fifth place. Thank you so much. And that's
Yeah.
why I like
Mhm.
my viewers here. They try to make sure that we get it right. And thank you.
Yeah, and that's good. That makes us human beings. We are not perfect beings. We do make mistakes like any other person. But what I was saying is that I don't see any modern slavery ever can. I think people in various cultures, show respect to their leaders, differently. So for anyone to interpret, Mr. Cummings being carried in a hammock by supporters of the ANC or the group of people that he had gone to see, for people to come from among them, or his supporters to carry him, I think they were just showing some level of support for him. That's how I see it. I don't
Moses,
see it as
let me add in here quickly. Thomas
yeah.
Awaji say he doesn't think that this should be necessary. But let me say this: President Talbot was considered Marylander from Cape Palmas, from Harpo, from Maryland. Alexander Cummings is from Maryland, and I believe this is the Marylanders' tradition, the Gribble people.
Yeah.
The people you saw toting Mr. Cummings were not ANC's people. I don't believe they were really ANC people. They were just embracing their own son from the county. And this is the way they show their love, their appreciation for their leader, by carrying the leader in a hammock to say, you are our leader, and we are showing you to the word, and we're carrying you. Anyone can disagree with me here, because Talbot was not carried in a hammer. Taylor, with all his love for grandiosity, all his love for enjoyment, didn't allow himself.
Wasn't treated that way.
But this is a Marylander tradition from what I've seen, because
that's how they do in Maryland. Yeah.
If you look at it historically, the only picture we see from Liberia is Totman being carried in a hammock. But we also saw this guy, Mabutu Sese Sekou from Zaire, being carried in a hammock. So certain leaders are carrying a hammock as a way of showing them your love for them, and also to say, you are our leader, and we're displaying you to the rest of our tradition, to the rest of our culture, to the rest of our people, and to the world. And so Mr. Cummings did not go and say, if you don't carry me in a hammock right now, all of y'all are putting you in jail. There was no duress, there was nothing forced. And this is not, I don't think that people should use this. If I went to Liberia right now, I went to the Gribble tribe and I said, my people are king here to run over. I said, but my man, the only way you can be accepted, we got to symbolize you.
Yeah, that for you. Yeah.
For you. So that our people can, embrace you. This is the tradition. How many times have we gone around the world and there are tradition that you must, embrace and accept? If the people say they got to cut the cobra here, put the blood inside a glass, and they put small king juice on top of it, and you drink it, it'll make you strong like man. For you to be accepted in that, right? You do it. That tradition.
That's it.
So Mr. Cummings should have refused. Mr. Cummings could not have refused if the people say it's tradition.
It's part of the people tradition.
If they say it's tradition, it's a must that you do this, then that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I think the opportunity for Cummings people to come here and make this clarification on the picture would be an opportunity. But from my perspective, as a true native Liberian, born and bred in Liberia, okay, don't let some of y'all be fooled by the light complexion. I'm a Peking from GSA Road.
Use a Igari Yoko.
I live in Palmas.
Use a Igari Yoko, man.
I live in Palmas. I live in Maryland County, right there in Harpo. All right. So let us not be fooled by the light complexion. I'm a born Liberian. I left Liberia at the age of 29. So then don't tell me I don't know my whole country. I know my country. The only war I didn't see in Liberia was the 2000 war that they said they fought somewhere around the embassy that took away his name, the late Roosevelt Johnson.
Yeah, Roosevelt Johnson.
Went after him. After the April 6th, they failed, then they went back 2000. Was it 2000?
No, it was April 6th that
April 6th,
April 6th was Roosevelt Johnson. Yeah.
That September war where Madison William passed was killed, they said, in front of the embassy. I was not in Liberia then. Okay. And then this whole 2000 with Lord. Yeah. So we understand Liberia. So when we talking here, don't come here and start thinking, say, the man, I'm Liberian, man. You fool yourself. You go, I read it, you can make it with me. But it's the tradition, Moses.
It is.
It's the tradition. And I'm seeing it from that perspective. I don't think that Cummings did anything wrong.
No,
You know, I don't disagree with anyone who think that they have their own perspective. So the line's open, you can call. Then on the issue of the woman unlacing his shoes,
it's also
what if
it's not a respect. It's not a respect.
Yeah, if it's tradition,
it's not something that Mr. Cummings asked for.
Look
And
at
like you said earlier.
Yeah, with forced labor. Man,
Come on, man. How could that be forced labor? How does he define forced labor?
Stop the
forced labor is when you are compelled to do something against your will. And this is why sometimes it's good to understand diversity.
And firstly, Flomo Augustus, I'm not defending. I am neutral, but I'm not defending. I am looking at it from my lens. I have my lens. And you calling, so I will take your call so you can make your case.
But let me just say something before he comes in.
Hold on, let me just tell him. Flomo Augustus, just hold on. Moses want to make a point, and then I'll bring you through. Go ahead, Moses.
Yeah, I don't see you. I don't see myself defending anything. All we are saying is, as people, we should respect the diversity in cultures. And you know, if in Maryland that's how the people celebrate their leaders, then there's nothing wrong with people toting Mr. Cummings in a hammock. If
Moses, somebody just say, what will you say about the cola nut and the pepper?
Okay, that's how the other people. That's how the other people, you know, welcome their leaders. That's tradition. That's why, you know, besides being a journalist, as someone who is in human services, we always tell people, do not use your culture to judge other people's culture. What is not applicable in your culture, it doesn't mean that it is wrong in another person's culture. So Liberians need to understand diversity in cultural practices. And get a quarter of the opportunity.
Let me can talk small.
Yeah, look, I'm not old enough, but I quite remember, and I saw pictures of a topman being carried from a boat, from a canoe, who was on a river, and they put it in a hammock. The reason why President Topman was carried in that hammock, it was because he didn't want to walk in the water. So they had to tow him out of the water and then bring him to the beach.
But my man, you said you even know that the same thing. They played the
but that's what I'm telling you. The place Cummings were going was muddy. There was so much.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, the same thing. Water were all over the place. The men were going to get drowned. The people, he wanted a leader to get drowned, my man. Are you out of this?
But I'm agreeing with you. So it's not cultural.
Okay.
It's because Mr. Cummings didn't want to get drowned. He didn't want to walk in the water. It was so muddy. The people who were walking in the water and they were stepping in the mud, Mr. Cummings was so better than them that those who were walking in the mud, and he was so.
Come on, man.
Hold on. So George, who took 2.5 million?
And asking for another 1.5 million.
Eating baked chicken,
not justified,
and drinking camel milk. He's better than a Liberian woman.
Okay,
Hold on. Let me finish now. He's better than a Liberian woman, right? Who are jumping over the fence the other day to Freeport trying to find rice. Who are barbed wire.
Answer that question. Your co-host, he just said allegedly. It is alleged that he took another 1.5 million. You are not saying alleged.
No. Let me correct you. Let me correct you.
They tie the shoes. Even in this country, you saw Barack Obama, all these big guys, they tie their own shoes. Why couldn't Mr. Cummings tie his own shoes? Why couldn't he ask his wife to tie his shoes or to remove the shoes? You ask another man's wife to bend down over and then it was. Listen,
okay, let's go to the Bible. Let's equate this to the Bible. What happened to Jesus, the woman who used her hair to wipe his feet?
No, let's go to the Quran because we are.
Volcano.
Listen, sometimes you gotta understand. The woman decided.
No, let's go to the Quran.
No, Volcano. Let me just tell Papi something quickly.
All I'm saying, politics has nothing to do with religion. We are all different religions. Some people they are agnostic. They are
but nobody is discussing religion.
Religious. in our country, we are made of 5 million people. We all have different religion, Christians, Muslim, traditional religion. We got different religions. So when you try to inject Quran or Bible or Buddha or all this religion, then you're trying to alienate other people. What I'm trying to say, it was unconscionable for Mr. Cummings to allow.
No. You see, you're rushing. I'm not alienating anyone. I'm just giving you an example of what tradition is. Okay, hold on.
And what people do in their various cultures.
Caller from 0415. Just stay in queue. I'll come back to you. 0415. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, and Volcano.
Yeah.
So let me just tell Papi. In fact, let me ask. I see some level of hypocrisy here.
Yeah, let me just conclude. 2 seconds now.
Okay,
Leave.
you say you want to conclude. 2 seconds.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
At some point, you said you guys are neutral. You're not leaning anybody, but from your audiences, I can see you supporting Mr. Cummings.
You got it wrong. Listen. I have. Listen. Let me be straight honest here. I'm one person. If I take on to somebody here, you will know it. Because I will not do it for free. I will not be like.
I'm only saying that because to defend Mr. Cummings only tying shoes and towing a hammer, it means that you are leaning Mr. Cummings.
No. You got it wrong. I don't have no political affiliation, my brother. None of these people know me personally. None of them have my number. I'm just looking at it objectively. That's all it is. That's all right. And maybe my objectivity is subjective to you. I'm coming, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe my objectivity is subjective to you, and that's why.
Thank you, my brother. Objectivity is relative.
Yeah, so that's why you suggesting where you stand and why you seeing that you think I'm from.
But let me ask you one question: why Mr. Cummings couldn't walk in the water? He allowed people to walk in it and then told him in hammock.
Man, if Mr. Cummings was your president, you would told him a hammer. You weren't allowed to walk in the mud.
Number one, he was not president. Number two,
but does he have to be president to be treated with honor?
Anybody in a hammock, the optics was just bad. No woman should be tying any man's shoes. That woman should be bent. That's somebody's wife. But my brother, thanks for having me, and I can see that you are very tolerant. I go to push you, they kick me out, but I thank you for bringing me on. I appreciate it.
No, we are professional people.
Give you the opportunity to opinionate because you are entitled to that. This is where you have the freedom to talk. Just don't use profanity.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, just don't use profanity.
I know you profanity. It was the other guy who came from who said
no. I'm saying that's the yardstick we set. We
allow people to be heard.
We
got to. We allow people to be heard.
Thank you. Yeah, the caller from 0415 New Jersey. Welcome to the Issues Room.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Isaac Gordon. I disagree with you and Moses.
Okay, hold 1 second. Saying you disagree with me. Let me take the other. I'll come back to you. Let me take the other caller and put him in queue. The caller from 6785 New Jersey. Please hold. Maybe you'll find my battle for me. Let me go back to that man. Yeah, go ahead with your disagreement, my brother.
Go ahead, sir.
Am I on now?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay. I was born in the 70s, way back in the late 60s. In Riverside.
Hold on, now who's one you were born in? You were born in the late 60s or the
it's late 60s, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be like that time I get it, man. When
no, I'm not I didn't go to
2001. All right.
So I didn't go to university in 2000 and come back and start way back. It's just I'm at work and I don't, I'm at work.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
I don't want to use them.
So
they touch my heart.
Do you think quick?
Yeah. Okay, those days, people told people in Hammer, and they used to be beating those people with soldier, and to take somebody from seeing people now, throwing somebody in Hammer, it brings back memory. That's what the people are saying, but not tradition. I don't see that as a tradition. That's my disagreement. Because I saw people beating people to throw them in Hammer.
So Cummings were beating people? Is that what
so I'm saying? No, somebody
you see that it's a reminder.
And again, it is not tradition.
But my question is, even though it may not be as tradition to you, but did you see Cummings beating people? Did he send people?
No, I said no.
Okay, then
I said no.
Okay,
but it's not tradition.
Okay, so then what would it be?
It's just something that he wants because
he wants the people volunteer to do.
You and I was not there that the people volunteer. He doesn't.
So what didn't want people do it now? Oh man, let
no, man. No, he didn't want to walk in the mud. because
Okay.
they will feel better for you to get for your foot to touch
But
him up.
how did
That's
we
why they
know?
put you
Hold on
up.
now. How did we know that hammock was going to be there if it was not traditional? You see, sometimes you have to toggle.
But if I say,
Well, with a talk, because
So
the
why
thing
we
is
didn't
that
put
people,
Pimpin there? Why we didn't put full
if
runner?
if if
Coming can
if
afford
pimping
full
were
runner.
if pimping were available there, they would take pimping. They would
Yeah.
rather you take
So
pimping.
you want to tell me coming got to that point where the mud was
the
at?
people have to literally tote him
He walk
because
around there, or
he
he
did not
carry
want to. He
SUV.
did not want to
The
wear.
SUV was packed when they reached the mosque.
I mean, you're enjoying yourself.
Man, amazing
Oh,
Liberian people, man.
you wrap
Thank
it
you,
up
man,
quick.
for the show.
Okay, let me
No,
take
thank-
the
no,
next
no, no,
caller.
just another one. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, my brother.
Oh, my people. All right. So 609 and the 6785, you're online. You're
Yeah,
live.
good evening, Brother Shelton.
Thank you. Thank you. Your name.
Emmanuel Faithfulin calling from Maloro, New Jersey.
You're welcome, my brother. You're following the conversation. We may not get everything right here tonight, so
And
take
in
your
my
time, brother.
welcome,
Yeah, it's
Emmanuel.
just ironic how people will spin everything for politics.
Mhm.
Looking at Cummings with his accomplishment, you see that man, he's not flashy. He can decide to be, but
Yeah.
he goes like a common person. So there's no way that you go come on here tonight and say the man trying to show like he living back in the days what people trying to use you for slavery. Like the issue with the shoes in the mosque, they had over 400 people in the mosque that day, and the lady in question was a security guard. So instead of his shoe getting messed up with everybody else's shoe, that's actually kept his shoes when he went in the mosque. He took out his own. The first in the shoes they had no laces, so they can't say the lady was tonic the guy's shoes. She took the shoes to keep it so they don't get messed up with everybody's shoes. And when he came back out of the mosque, that's when she put the shoes down for him to put her foot inside. But that was a security guard. That was not nobody else that were asking. If you see that man walking, you see like I think 2 or 3 other heavy set guy, muscle, and the girl walking, but that girl was in question as the security guard. So she kept the shoes because she didn't want the shoe getting mixed with the 400 or 300 people that went to the mosque that day.
My man, telling that 2 places where your shoe can get lost.
Oh yeah, at the mosque. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, in the Aladura church. You remember the Aladura church? You gotta leave your shoe outside.
Yeah, shoe outside when you come, the children can come and do their old slippers and take your shoe and shoe
Take your
gone.
shoes. So my brother, thank you, man. That's good clarification. Now you just made me to talk plenty now.
Yeah, people cannot just make everything not politics. I mean, you can criticize the man. I mean, in politics, the optics is not right. Your opponent can use the optics to make their points, but that was the case over there. Not because he was trying to prove that he's so better than everybody else, but the security out of respect. In Liberia, when you got a little bit of money and being a communist political leader, the statue. People, when you're in Liberia, a little bit of money, people respect you, regardless. They want to put your clothes on if you let them. They want to take you to the bathroom and shower you. So it's out of respect. The security guard the security lady was just trying to secure her boss's shoes so they don't get messed up with everybody else's shoes. That was what happened in the mosque. So I just wanted to call to make that clarification.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. And that's a very good clarification. Yeah.
What's this? I think we'll close the line. It's 9 o'clock. Let's just
Yeah.
wrap up. We're not taking any more callers again because we have to go. It's 9 already. We're gone 2 hours in the show. But again, the clarification is good here. We're not in any way celebrating Cummings. For anyone who think that we have any, again, I continue to emphasize there's no political lineage here. There's no political ties. There's no political support for any of the opposition, and neither for George Weah. We are the issues room. We stand balanced. But sometimes we have what we consider our own lenses. Why it is as expected that we must be as pure as water. You can look through water, but we're human beings. And when I analyze the situation, knowing that historically, traditionally, this has happened, that is my stance. And you can have your stance, and it doesn't mean that our differences negate the fact that the situation did not take place. The justification can be made on both sides, and I see it as tradition. And now here's a brother who clarifies that Cummings' shoes had no lace. The woman was only trying to secure his shoes because he was entering the mosque. Had his shoes stayed out there, anybody could have taken it. And we've seen that happen time immemorial. Moses?
Yeah, absolutely. When I was growing up in Monrovia, I saw that many times. People went to the mosque, after prayer, they come out, the shoes went missing. These wayward boys in Liberia, we call Grenada boy, will come and take the people's shoes and go away. It happened there all the time. I saw that when I was a young person in Monrovia. And I would like to quickly join you in making this clarification. Papi came up and made this wild claim that, oh yeah, from the trend of the conversation, he surmised that we are Cummings supporter. Everybody out there knows that Volcano, Shelton, and Moses Sandy have repeatedly told supporters of the ANC and have repeatedly said that Mr. Cummings is not a winnable candidate in today's Liberia. That's what the data shows. Mr. Cummings, I know Mr. Cummings personally. I have met with him. We met in Minnesota 2018. We invited him. He came to an other event. He spoke there. But the data shows that he's just not a winnable candidate. And we are not part of the ANC. We are not supporting Mr. Cummings. When we come here, we speak our mind objectively because that's what good journalism is about. So I think Volcano, this was indeed a great show. I was really impressed with some of the comments that came from the callers. It shows that
Even
people are
those
really interested.
who are writing in the chat room.
Yeah, the comments, those who made the comments, those who wrote, those who called in. It was a very great show. It shows that the topic of today's discussion resonated with the people, and Liberians are not happy with the way things are unfolding in the country, especially at the level of the presidency. That's why I gathered tonight. So let me pause there and ask you what you think.
And honestly, listen, I every day I go to bed and I wake up and I say, where can this president score big so we can have a positive conversation about him?
Mhm.
And every time we wake up, it's something new, Moses. It's not all about the negatives of President Weah and the lack thereof of what they're failing to do and all of that. We're looking for the big moments.
Of
And
course.
we'll speak of the big moments
Mhm.
when he makes the big moments. We'll speak of it. And the big moments have to benefit the Liberian people. I think this is where people miss the mark. If we had done something for himself, he comes up with a new song, liar man, and you cheer that, that's personal aggrandizement. It has nothing to do with the elevation of the Liberian society. It has nothing. This only goes in his own personal archive. Oh, you know the time was president. I made one song, the liar man. You can't dance to it. That's all it is. So let we do something for the people, or rather do something for the people that will elevate the country, that will elevate the people, and will give him the praise.
Absolutely.
I'm waiting for that moment. So I challenge all of you here tonight. Whenever we are scores big, tell me. We'll analyze it and we'll bring it out here and we'll have this conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have said this repeatedly from the days of Breach Radio with my brother Ashford Garley. I have nothing against President Weah for his accomplishments as a person, as a Liberian. But I have everything against what he doesn't do to elevate our country and the promises he made. Now we see sort of things happening. But what is the calculation behind these things that is happening? You build what you call a invisible park. Positive. I see people going around at the new Facebook taking picture ground. Agree. It's nice. It's some. You see what the people in the country do here. What they're looking for love. That
I think we need to black that person.
black the person.
Yeah.
And honestly, we know that the park makes sense. But of all the places in Liberia, That's the only place you see to put it park on the 1 lane, 2 lane road, and you not create new traffic. The last time I heard the park was underwater because it's not designed the way to
The drainage system is terrible.
But Moses, the place they built the park, that Oro intersection, that small swamp all the way to the school the man went to, Ellie Scarborough. That small swamp in that area. Have you seen when it rain how the water can elevate?
Yeah, all the time water sit to that place.
So then when you build a structure and you don't irrigate it well, you don't use a better irrigation system and avoid the water and put it in a perspective where the water will not be settled and create flood. So all of these things are important. So when we're talking about these things, it's not to say, oh, we don't appreciate what we are does in some instances, but we have built a road, no sidewalk. He builds a road, when the car breaks down, it stay on 1 lane. Then everybody got to be trying to get around it. So what is this you call development? You're building roads, you don't put sidewalk. So these are the things we're talking about. Don't do something here to make people to believe. And you're talking to people who have traveled extensively. And we know what the world looks like outside of Liberia. And that is why we're saying these things. It's not to put him in a place where we don't appreciate the little he's doing, but do it for what? The future. This census, this fiasco census, I can't wait for them to announce the numbers and they say they're doing census. Moses, we honestly got to hold this conversation. It's unfortunate we couldn't hold the conversation, but maybe by the time we get to the next production,
another thing will
come.
happen. Yeah, so we
Imagine
still have ample time. Yeah,
this census that they intend to hold. What would this census show? That our population decreased or it increased? It will show that it increased.
Of course, the guys.
If you're not building, if you're not putting the perspectives in place, the development in place for the growth of your population, then it's defeated. It's not going to do anything, Moses. That's what we're talking about here. Then you say, oh, yeah, I hit the ball. I mean, come on now, Moses, man. Who here we are, man?
Nobody.
Y'all not happy for it, man.
Man, look, everybody wants to see we are succeed. You and I is nothing personal, but we just speaking to the contemporary issues.
I mean, I talked to somebody the other day who closer to this man. The person told me, say that, man, if you don't praise him and you tell him what is right, he cuts off from you. I said, for real? This sort of thing are true. I tell you honestly. So myself, I just said, oh, man, you're the best president.
You're the best president. Yeah. and you know the man is undressed, but you're telling him say he's the best dressed man in the room. Isn't that insanity? You know that you are not dressed. You are inappropriately dressed, but you have someone coming to you and telling you, say, Volcano, you are the best dressed man. And you're nodding your head to that.
Yeah.
And you are in total agreement. Are you not insane?
Yeah.
How do you refer to yourself as Liberia best preso? 5 years of leadership, and you still cannot muster the courage to even talk to 2 or 3 reporters at a time, and you call yourself Liberia best preso when you don't even know what is happening around you, and you call yourself Liberia best preso. You set a precedent in the world. You take 2 months away from your country.
The man a record maker. The ball let them be record. The man a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, but man, the man let us record, but man.
The man a world best. The man play in the county meet. Certain president plays in the county meet.
And became
MVP. My man. I know what's going on, my man. But yeah. Moses, thank you, my man. We gotta go.
Yeah, it was a great show, man. And let me say thanks to our many viewers and listeners. We really appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you on Friday. Thank you.
So on Friday, let me quickly say that we bring in Randy Dapor, J. Randy Dapor. And there's a reason for bringing J. Randy Dapor. I know some of our folks here will say, "Oh, why are you bringing J. Randy Dapor?" J. Randy Dapor, I jokingly call him the Two-Face. The other day he was bragging and shouting, Cummings, 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 Cummings. And all of a sudden the brother just flipped. And now he said, opposition can be president, no opposition will be president. So we want to talk about the Dapor before,
Alexander
the
Cummings,
Dapor now, and the Dapor in the future. No, Alexander coming to now. We're talking about the Dapor
No,
before.
yeah, we say
It will
the
be
Dapper
tied
before
it will be
Alexander
tied to
Cummings.
Cummings.
Yeah.
It will be tied to Cummings. The Dapor before, and where the Dapor here stands now, and where is this Dapor going in the future?
Mhm.
So, my people, Friday, it will not be easy. Y'all come here. The man said he ready for y'all, and y'all might be ready for him. He will make his case. So
Yeah.
Jay Randy will be
Our
our
guest.
guest on Friday. He has agreed to be here on Friday, and we'll have the conversation about what his take on where we're going, and as a country, he watches his personal, one-on-one with his audience, and he says that no opposition will win the presidency. Let him come and make that case, and we'll give you the opportunity in the opposition to hold him to that, and let's see where we go 2023. Again, we want to say thank you so much. It was a pleasure having all of you. Moses, let me let you go while I recognize some of these folks quick.
Definitely.
So Emmanuel Jackson, you came in a little late, but better late than never. The show is there. You can recap. Alexander Boniface, Emmanuel Hayes, Colin Pator, Thomas Awaji, Stonye Moba, Henry Flampour. This is Ali Fofred Tayo, Roger Gibson, Matilda Ruhr. We say thank you for joining us here tonight. Othello Zion, Joseph Cockrow, Agnes Jua Freeman Grams, S. Edward Nefor. It was good having you. Wele Tumu Blay. Thank you for joining the Issues Room. Make this your platform. Come and listen to us. I think you will get better outcome from the conversation we hold about our country, and we'd like to encourage you to join us. Baba Sifos Kobe Solo, so say thank you. Isaac Gue, Moziki Mozik, thank you. Flomo Augusta P, it's good having you. Thanks for your perspectives. We appreciate your time. Siafa Wanderer, thank you. Or Wander, let's put it right. Peter Nuvo, it was good having you in the house here tonight with us. A lot of you new folks came by. We say thank you for joining us. Alexander Malu, Wezonga, thank you. God another favorite more. Pay Edward. So many of you came in tonight. We say thank you. Tawada T for coming in and joining us. Alexander Molu, we say thank you to everyone. I know sometimes when we try to do this, it's like you're leaving me out. I'm a Freeman, Sonita Crawford, Galakba Kalapi or Kalapli, PLE. So it's Kalapli. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We say thank you to Adiaha Indon Giset Omu from Australia, our big sis. It's good having you in the house. Jack Dankwan, our man Gregory Himi Stem, my own good friend and brother, photojournalist. We say thank you for joining us here tonight. Comfort Abu, it was good having you. Ferje Moyu and Ahmad Freeman, every one of you guys who showed up tonight here, Rebecca Weeder Kaba, and the rest of you, Godwin Weado, Ram Snotton. We say thank you so much for joining us here. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your contribution. Paul Johnson, Dr. Ikudayu Dixon. It was good, Echo, for you being in the house here with us tonight. Winston Joseph Fedricks, just so many of you. And the list continues here tonight. We say thank you. Duke Dukori, thank you. all you folks who can. Hopefully, we didn't leave anyone out. We'll be back here on Friday again, as I said, with J. Randy Dapoor. We'll be discussing some very pertinent issues, his position right now, prior, now, and the future. We'd like to thank you for joining us. 7 p.m. Friday, we'll be back here. Look out for the flyer or the ad on our page, and to your page, we'll send it to you via your personal page. And Lamitai, I almost forgot you, Othello Zion as well. Thank you. Thank you. Good night. I'm trying to get this.